Public Speaking, Module 6 of the second quarter. Objectives. After going through this module, you are expected to understand the techniques in public speaking, differentiate impromptu and prepared speech, express one's insights on social issues through a speech, and deliver a prepared or impromptu speech. Let's have some warm-up activities. Learning task 1. Identify whether a prepared or an impromptu speech is usually used in the given examples or situations. You were invited to speak before a commencement ceremony. You were asked to speak in an ambush interview. You were assigned to give a talk before a group of students. You were chosen to represent the school in an oratorical contest. You were called by the host to deliver a message during a wedding ceremony. You were invited to give a reflection for the upcoming Holy Week Mass. A youth group requested you to serve as a resource person. While attending a meeting, you were unexpectedly requested to share your experiences in your job. You were assigned by your boss to present the company's accomplishments in a conference. You were asked to share your knowledge about a topic on the spot. So, here are the differences of these statements. What do you notice with a prepared speech? How about impromptu speech? Let's have another exercise. This time, I want you to examine the statement by identifying the ones which should be followed when asked to speak before a specific group of people or audience. Having to speak in front of a crowd may still sound strange and unnecessary to you. In the future, however, there could be a situations where you would need to practice your public speaking skills, either as part of your task in a college or as part of your professional responsibilities in your job. Public speaking usually involves having to deliver or communicate information in front of a live audience, usually done in a formal setting as part of a formal event. Public speaking conveys purposeful information which aims to inform, influence, or entertain a large group of audience. People engaged in public speaking can get a lot of advantages, like sharp critical thinking skills, confidence when dealing with people, and fluency in verbal and nonverbal communication. Here are some defining moments in history documented the importance of public speaking. Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech, which inspired the nation and broke down racial barriers. Without his leadership and his inspiration speech, it may have taken an extra 10 years to bring equality to all races. President Richard Nixon's speech united a nation and put a man on the moon. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address put him on the map for president. Adolf Hitler's many speeches were delivered with extreme passion and caused arguably one of the most horrifying genocides of all time. Because public speaking is done before a live audience, there are some special factors the speaker needs to take into consideration. Develop your own style. Although you may imitate good speakers, integrate your own personality. Just be yourself. Incorporating your personal experiences to the theme will let your audience know you better. Avoid filler words. Words such as basically, well, and actually, among others, do not add anything to your speech. Vary your tone, volume, and speed. Interesting speakers vary the pitch, high versus low, volume, loud versus soft, and speed, fast versus slow, of their words. So, keep the audience interest and engage in what you say by doing this. Next, make the audience laugh. Laughter can make you and the audience to relax. So, cracking jokes before your speech is welcome, but make sure its delivery is appropriate and the timing is perfect. Lastly, smile. If all else fails, smile. Your audience will perceive that you are a warm speaker and that they would be more receptive of what you have to say. Public speaking is a skill worth learning. It is extremely important if you want to be a leader in a career development, business growth, or even in the relationship you have with your friends and family. People follow leaders who inspire them and leaders who communicate their ideas effectively. If you cannot communicate with your tribe, you cannot be a leader. If you want to be a leader, you must know how to communicate. The most common forms of public speaking include delivering a prepared speech and an impromptu speech. In a prepared speech, the speaker is given the topic beforehand, has time to research about the topic, and can rehearse or practice prior to delivering the speech. Graduation speech is an example of a prepared speech. It must be made clear, however, that a prepared speech does not necessarily equate to a memorized speech. Delivering a fully memorized speech is just one example. The use of a prepared copy which serves as a reference for delivering the speech. When preparing for a speech, one should first rehearse the speech as it will be presented. That is, with visual aids, standing, or sitting, as will be appropriate for the real speech. Time the rehearsal. Next, rehearse in front of others. Then, if possible, rehearse in the location when the speech will be delivered to become more comfortable in the space. See how the audience will view the speech and how much space is available for movement. Lastly, create a visual audio recording of the speech and look for areas where body language or vocal performance should be improved. Impromptu speech occurs when the speaker is given no time to prepare for the speech. He or she is given a topic and must immediately begin speaking on it. Delivering an impromptu speech seems a challenging task since it means speaking about a specific issue or topic without having a chance to research about it or even make an outline as guide. The most common example of a real-world impromptu speech is the elevator speech, when in an anticipated situation where one is speaking to someone who has the ability to advance one's career or provide an opportunity in a new field. It is crucial to be able to deliver an excellent impromptu speech. Here are some tips that you can use the next time you are called to speak. First, decide quickly what your one message will be. Next, do not try and memorize what will you say. Then, start off strong and with confidence. Moreover, decide on your transitions from one point to the other. Also, maintain eye contact with the audience. Occasionally throw in an off the cuff remark. And finally, have a good conclusion. So, how are you going to deliver an effective speech? First, know your purpose. Being sure on the purpose of your speech is synonymous to knowing where to focus your discussion. It may be a basic as to inform, persuade, or inspire. When you are certain about what you would want to speak about from the very beginning, you will most likely be able to avoid being sidetracked or confusing your audience with lengthy discussions that lead nowhere. Next, be familiar with your topic. The best way to do this is to research. When you are sure of every piece of information you are presenting, you will be more confident. This is also something that your audience will usually notice and feel. Third one is consider your audience. It is essential to be sure of the kind of people you will be speaking to. Knowing your audience will help you plan the appropriate content, language, and techniques to use. You cannot address a group of high school students the way you would address a crowd of professionals. Plan ahead of time. Cramming will reflect in the way you speak and behave in front of an audience. This is something any speaker would not want to happen. That is why planning everything is a key to a successful speaking engagement. Number five, use non-verbal cues. The right amount of gestures at the right time are key elements of public speaking, as this movement helps convey ideas more clearly. There is, however, danger in overusing these gestures, as they can become distracting. Establishing eye contact with the audience also works well in maintaining confidence and establishing sincerity. Number six, remain calm. Whether you are delivering a prepared or an impromptu speech, maintaining composure can always be an issue. The weeks of planning and preparations may be put to waste if you keep on showing unnecessary movements as a sign of nervousness. Taking deep breaths and having a focused mindset can do the magic of staying relaxed. Number seven, practice. Being a good and compelling speaker takes a lot of practice and experience. Through constant practice, one may be able to identify areas that can be improved. 8. Watch your words. One's choice of words greatly affects how the audience perceives the speech. One must be careful enough not to use words that might put his or her reliability and reputations into jeopardy. Next, speak with clarity. One should observe proper pronunciation, stress, intonation, juncture, diction, tone, and pacing when delivering a speech. These are just few of the many elements that should work together to ensure that the ideas in the speech are clearly conveyed. This, however, is not something one can learn overnight. Consistent practice is likewise necessary. Know the essential etiquettes. As a public speaker, one should know the different do's and don'ts when speaking before an audience. Next, use visual when necessary. When possibly inappropriate, visuals like PowerPoint slides can help support the speech being delivered. This should be done in a way that visual aids will not overpower the speech or distract the audience. Dress comfortably, but appropriately. Sometimes speaking with ease comes with feeling comfortable with what you wear. A speaker, however, should dress in a way that exudes respect and formality. The last thing is be open to questions and comments. Always bear in mind that you cannot please everybody. It is essential to be open to questions, comments, or even criticism. These things can be used as consideration on how one can improve or continuously refine his her style and craft.